Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Ace Queen. This is a more recent hand. This is a 25 NL game. So in this hand, we have an early position player raises to 5. He's playing 46-7. He is a loose passive. Kind of a little unusual in that his VPIP in early positions 36%. But his first in's only 4%. 3 out of 77 he raised. He's limping 24 out of 77. So I think he is going to have a very tight pre-flop raising range. This is 4%. And we could get rid of some of like 9s, 10s, and jacks and add like, let's say, king, queen suited and ace, jack suited. Or we can leave in all these pairs. I'm going to leave in this range right now, because I think that's kind of his range. So we've got like pre-flop raise and mid position with queen jack off. That's a little unusual for mid position, but I think he's going to be pretty tight. And then villain 8 calls. He's also playing a loose passive type of play, not really coming in for a whole lot of raises. His mid position stats 21% VPIP. His 3-bet stat here is 15%, 2 out of 13. But you'll note that his mid position is also 2 out of 13 for when he calls a 2-bet. So I think he's, he can raise. I think he's going to be pretty tight with the raise. Queen plus ace kings, about 2% or so. A little more than 2%. So I think we're going to give him like pocket pairs, some of these suited connectors. Maybe we can kind of give him the 6-5, some broadways. Maybe not even those offsuit broadways. Like a lot of people don't necessarily play that. Something like this. And then it's to me, and I just called, which I think is a pretty good call, because when we look at button versus early position, you can see we've got a 3-bet range. This definitely falls under the 3-bet. However, we're playing against a player who is pretty tight with his raises. So when we look at the call, if we do button versus a tight early position, this is our calling range. So that's the range that I'm going to use. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we take a flop, and the flop is queen 6-9 with 2 diamonds. We've got a backdoor flush draw. We've got top pair, which is actually pretty good for us. Now, villain 6, we have to be aware if he's willing to get money in the pot. He does c-bet, but he's got a tight range when he c-bets. If he is willing to get money in the pot, he probably has a big hand. Now, we do have top pair, top kicker. So if we demonstrate that we also like our hand and he still pays, chances are he's got a better hand. Now, what kind of better hand is out there? I'd probably exclude 2 pair. Queen 9, I think, is less likely, but he could have the same hand, ace queen. He could have trips, trip 9s, trip queens, or he could have a hand like kings or aces. I think that's what we're going to have to watch for. So what happens? Villain 6 bets, makes a c-bet of 4 big blinds, so 25% pot. What does he do that with? I think he is doing that with top pair plus. I'm not sure if he does it with jacks and 10s. Not even sure if he does it with the flush draw, since he is kind of a passive. So I think top pair plus is what he's looking at. If he has, maybe he has no made hand, like the ace king. That could work. So, could be doing that. That kind of raises up the c-bet. So maybe we'll include ace king. Just see what happens. And then villain 8 calls. Villain 8's calling probably with a much wider range. We're going to say gut shot, open ender, flush draw. I kind of think set's going to be raising here. Top pair might raise. And we'll give him like middle pair. I don't think 7s and 8s are calling here. Maybe 7s and 8s because of the 6-9. We'll do that. So 53% is what he's he's doing, and then it's on us. And I think this is a spot that we can raise. I think we can raise sets. I think we could raise top pair. I think we raise jacks and tens just to see what happens. If he folds, great, we're folding out ace king. That's what we want to do. If he calls, I think we're going to definitely have to slow down on those. And the question is, do we really think he's going to be doing that with jack queen? Well, I think this is an easy way to find out. He's betting 4. We can raise up to 12. If he calls, he calls. I think 7-8 we kind of call. I think flush draw we call. Open ender we call, and so forth. So what do? We raise. I think this is probably a little high. I mean, raise to 12, could raise up to like maybe 15 to account for the caller. 18 just seems a little too big. But I did raise, so I like that. And then villain does call, so I think at this point I'm going to eliminate ace king. I think the flush draw calls, and the question is, does he raise with this set? Probably not. I'm going to guess he is going to wait on the turn to see if the diamond comes. And if the diamond falls, then he can possibly get away from his hand. But and I think that's the same thing with the overpair and the top pair. I think he wants to see what comes before investing any more money. So that's what we're going to do. And then villain 8 calls too. So with villain 8 calling, I think the best thing, I think 7s and 8s, we give him reason to fold. I think middle pair, we give him a reason to fold. Jacks and 10s, we probably give him a reason to fold. So I think top pair and your draws. I'm not even sure if a gut shot's going to come along here. So kind of reduce those hands. Turns to ace of hearts, which improves us to 2 pair. We still have to worry. Villain, villain could have, I think it's less likely that he has a diamond draw, so could have the same hand, ace queen. I think ace king folded out, so we don't have to worry about that. But again, we have to worry about trips. We have to worry about the overpair, which would be trip aces now, or maybe kings. So now he leads into us, and that's kind of interesting. Because we have initiative. What's he gonna do? So let's go to the turn and check his donk. 46%. Seems like he's doing it fairly regularly. So donk bet on the flop is 10%. Donk bet on the turn is 46%. So I almost think that he's might be putting us on a flush draw, and he doesn't want it to go get checked through. So maybe top pair. Not sure if kings does this with the passive player. I don't think flush draw does it, so I think we're looking at sets, maybe 2 pair that he has, maybe top pair, maybe kings. He's going for some value here. I think it's less likely top pair though. Maybe because he had ace king of diamonds. Maybe he bets now that he improved. That could possibly happen. Villain 8 folds. So I'm gonna guess he was probably on like a gut shot. Didn't really improve. Ace scares him. Maybe he had like an underpair, and it's on us. What do we do? So at this point, he's donking. We have 2 pair. I think maybe our play is we can get it in. I think if we're looking with a set, we could get it in now. Because if we call, and a non-diamond comes, or a diamond comes, he's going to fold. So I kind of think with a set, we'd have 6s, 9s, and queens. I think we can raise with our set. With our 2 pair, I think we could raise 2. And we could raise to like 50 or 60. Yeah, about 50 or 60. But what else do we have? We've got middle pair. We've got pocket pair. Less than the second card. Maybe the middle pair we call. jacks and tens, I think we fold. But I think middle pair, I think this could be it. He's got it. Maybe he has a queen and he's betting to represent the 8. I think that's kind of weak and hopeful. So if we call the middle pair, really, probably we're going to have to call 2 pair, and we're going to probably have to call our sets too, because I'm not sure if we have like a raising range, like a polarized raising range here. I think it's only for value, only for bluff. So I think almost here we should probably just call. I didn't do that. I raised. And I think I raised a little too big, and then he comes over the top. And once he comes over the top, I think we are eliminating 2 pair. I think he would have just called with 2 pair. I think he is definitely on a set, possibly aces, possibly 9s. We have a queen. If he has queens, that's just kind of unfortunate. And once that happens, yeah, we have 2 pair. We need to recognize this and say he's not raising with junk. He's not raising with draws. We can get away from our hand now. It would have been a lot cheaper if we raised more to like 40 or 50, or to about 50 or so, 50 or 60. But what I ended up doing is I called, and I don't like this call at all. 5 of hearts comes out. He shows trip 9. So you know, in the play, I think the call was correct pre-flop. We have to recognize that he is tight. So, you know, he leads out, we raise, and he calls. He's not just calling on weak draws. He's not calling just to bluff catch at all. That ace comes out, seemingly helps us. Helps him, you know, should kind of help us too. You know, he bets 20, we raise up to 50 or 60, and if he comes over the top, I think we could eliminate 2 pair because we have an ace and a queen. So I think my screw up was I was way too aggressive on the turn. Should have just gave up. Yes, it seems weak with ace queen, but this is a passive opponent, and he is demonstrating a willingness to get it in. So and those players normally only do that with trips. So hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.